Yes, hello and welcome everyone. It's Chris here from the Ministry of Dice, and I'm back again today with another one of my little video presentation thingamadoodads. And as you can see on the screen there, what I'm going to talk about in this video today is upcoming ramp that I'm eager to give a try. Now, to be clear, to put it in context, by upcoming, I'm talking about the Infinity Gauntlet set and the Dark Phoenix Saga set. Fingers crossed, Corona willing, we'll hopefully see these cards and have them in our hands available to play at least before the end of 2020. Otherwise, I'm jumping the gun a great deal with these videos. But nonetheless, I've always got a keen eye on spoilers as they come through, so I've been poring over them over the last kind of couple of months and weeks to see what stands out to me. This is the third in a kind of mini-series on the subject of getting excited about the spoilers and getting excited about these new sets. I've already done one on the subject of win conditions. I've done one on the subject of control, and I'm going to talk today about cards that stand out to me that are in the ramp and churn kind of space. That's an important point that they stand out to me. Of course, there are other ramp and churn related solutions in the upcoming sets. I've certainly not bothered talking about reprinted basic actions like investigation, for example, because we know them, we're familiar with them, and we can give them a try now as it is. So these are just ones that stand out to me. Of course, if you spotted anything that's ramp and churny in the spoilers and I've not mentioned it, or I don't go on to mention it in this video now, then by all means head to the comments below. Let me know what you've spotted and why it stands out to you. And of course, while you're down there, hit the subscribe button, the notification bell, give me a thumbs up, because it gives me a lift and makes me feel happy in these quarantine times. But without further ado, let me tell you a little bit about the cards that I've spotted and why. So first on the list, we've got the Black Dwarf. 5-cost fist. He's a giant. His subtitle is Giant Axe. He's got an interesting game text actually. When fielded, target non-Black Dwarf character die gets +2 attack and gains Overcrush until the end of the turn. But that's not the reason he's on this list. The reason he's on this list is because of the global, which reads: pay 0 once per turn on your turn. Spin one of your sidekick dice in the field or reserve pool to its fist face. So, wow, guys, Infinity Gauntlet. This is indicating that we're going to get the return of the Energy Fixer globals. Now, if you're not familiar with that terminology, that's just kind of Dice Masters community jargon to describe this type of effect where you take a sidekick and turn it to an energy. These types of globals specify which energy you're turn it to, and it's my hope that in the Infinity Gauntlet set we also see a mask, a shield and a bolt version of this global as well. But this is a great way of ramping up. One of the things I like to do and have done many times in the past is to field an early sidekick almost as a way of banking it for energy to use later on, knowing that I've got that global on my team available to then switch it down to at the relevant moment, like if I need to get from 4 to 5 dice, for example. They're also super powerful because they allow you to control a little bit more, getting the specific energy type that you're looking for. So if you've got a global on your team that needs a specific energy type that you're going to be relying on, then an energy fixer is a nice way of guaranteeing it, or a character that you're absolutely going to be buying as part of your win condition. So not only has it got the kind of added ramp potential where you're turning sidekick face dice that you can pop in your field zone and keep them for a rainy day, as it were, or a rainy turn, but also it means you can get the type of energy that you need. So, the fact that energy fixers are on the way back is great news. These are really popular and fun to play with utility globals. I've got my fingers crossed that we're going to be seeing the other energy types getting one too. Just as a little side note as well, while we've got Black Dwarf up on the screen, check out those fielding costs on this guy. What's that all about? 031, 142, and 062. This is like the third or fourth card I've noticed with these kind of shonky fielding cost things going on. It's very, very interesting to me. Actually, another little note on this one. It's a rare, which makes me feel a little bit twitchy. I know that a few viewers watching the other videos in the miniseries were noticing the rarities on some of these juicy cards, and so this one might be a card that you're going into the chase for. But nonetheless, as far as a little ramp solution goes, popping a sidekick in your field zone and keeping it for when you need it and then switching it later on using this global is a great way of ramping. All right, Brill, on to the next one then. So I'm going to take a look at the new keyword, Rush, here. Really intrigued by this, and I'm definitely going to be giving Rush a go when the Infinity Gauntlet set comes down. Here on the screen you can see Star-Lord, King of Spartax, Guardians of the Galaxy affiliation, 4-cost fist. And let's take a look at the rush keyword. It says non-Star-Lord Guardians of the Galaxy affiliation. And the brackets, it's got the kind of flavor text to explain it. If you draw this die during your clear and draw step, draw and roll an extra die for each Guardians of the Galaxy die. So to be clear, this is if you draw Star-Lord out your bag and you also draw another Guardians of the Galaxy affiliated die out your bag, you then get to draw another die. This isn't Guardians of the Galaxy dice in the field, it's ones that you're drawing at the same time. So I feel like there's loads of possibility, tons of potential in that one. Rush is kind of swarmy, but kind of not. It's definitely intriguing to me, and I really want to give it a try. I've also dropped another 2 on the list there. Here's Rocket Raccoon, Make Like a Tree, 2-cost bolt, and then you've got Groot, highly intelligent, 4-cost shield. Also loving the thematic kind of thing going on here. You know, they're a unit, they're a team, a kind of group of scoundrels who work together, and it's just nice how they all kind of tie together. Rocket Raccoon, also the thematic synergy with Groot's lovely, because he gets it from a shield character die and Groot gets it from a bolt character die, just really indicating their kind of Bezzy mate space scoundrel thing that they've got going on. I think there's something here in the first 3 turn setup that's going to be really interesting. If you go second, you could buy yourself a Groot turn 1, then in your second turn buy a Rocket Raccoon and then prep. So in your third turn you roll in 5 dice, your 4 in your out your bag and your 1 that you've got in prep, but 2 of those are going to be Rocket and Groot, so hopefully you've not prepped one of them too. Anyway, I'm getting too under the skin of it, but you get what I'm saying. So you could in theory end up drawing and rolling 7 dice in your third turn. That's kind of mental. So interesting, yeah, definitely one I'm going to be giving a try. How competitive it is, how powerful it is, that's yet to be seen. I want to get it out and try it to get a sense of that, but I'm very intrigued by it and I really, really want to give it a go, and I think you should too. Okay, on to the next one then. So here we go. We've got Iron Lad, Slaying Kang, 4-cost bolt, Avengers affiliation. He's got a bit of a rampy game text actually. When Iron Lad deals combat damage to your opponent, prep a die from your bag, which is fine, nice enough in a draft set. That could be pretty useful in a pinch. But the reason I popped him on the list is because of this global. It says once per turn, pay a bolt when a source you control deals damage to a character die or player. If you do, prep a die from your bag. So let me explain, because this one doesn't look quite as good as maybe like Atlas, let's say, on the surface. But the reason it's caught my eye is that I love direct damage strategies. I'm a big direct damage fan. So if I'm playing a direct damage driven team, then this global gives me the potential for a little bit more use than my opponent, hypothetically, So if I'm playing, let's say, a Jubilee team, there's loads of Jubilees that are all about direct damage, and upcoming ones as well. We talked about the Dark Phoenix Saga one in the last video, that's the new Human Torch. But if I'm playing a Jubilee team, and I know that in my main step, she's going to be doing a bit of pingity ping 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 on my opponent, then this is a prep global that's I know I'm going to be able to use. But if my opponent's playing combat damage driven strategy, that's less guaranteed and less likely to go through, then I'm using a prep global on my team here with Iron Lad that I can make more use out of than my opponent can. And I think that's something to be thinking of. I mean, it's obviously not going to be the case every time. Opponents are going to be able to make use of this global too. But if I'm just minimising the opportunity a little bit, or if I'm in a tournament and there's a couple of players that I come across who aren't going to get a chance to use it as much as me, then I'll take those odds. So he's caught my eye because I'm a direct damage player, and I like that global because I may be able to use it more in a game than my opponent might. There you go. Again, let me know in the comments below if you agree or if I'm talking bobbins there, but it's certainly something I'm planning on giving a try. Okay, on to the Dark Phoenix ones then. So we've got Deadpool, number 1 draft pick, 4-cost fist. He's got the XMen affiliation and the Deadpool affiliation, and his game text reads, if this game is in the draft format, at the start of the game, pick a card on your team. That card costs 1 less to purchase this game, to a minimum of 1. So what a super fun card. Number 1, just the fourth wall breaking meta referencing that's so appropriate for Deadpool. I love it. I love it to bits. I love thematic stuff in the game. So the fact that he's talking about the game out of context of the characters themselves is just awesome. I also like that he's like a draft specific bit of discount that's going to help you purchase. And I like that it's a common card as well. So in the draft setup, the likelihood of finding one is higher than maybe getting your hands on an uncommon, a rare, or a super rare. Maybe even a couple hanging around, or the chances of you getting one in your first pull are higher. So I just really love that. You know, pick this up in the draft, get it on your team, select the slightly more expensive win condition that you fancy giving a try, and it puts it in play, which traditionally is not always the case in draft. You know, ramp can be a challenge. So yeah, just love the thematic nature of it. I love the fact that it's draft driven. The rarity is perfect for what it's delivering, so loads of people are going to get to give it a try and have fun with it in the draft context. It's just a good all-rounder in my eyes for what it's made for. So yeah, definitely a thumbs up from Chris, and I'm going to be trying to get my hands on that when I'm drafting the Dark Phoenix Saga down my local store. All right, another Dark Phoenix Saga card then, and you can't talk about the Dark Phoenix Saga, I suppose, without talking about Dark Phoenix. 7-cost Bolt, villain character, Malevolent is the subtitle. She's got some game text there about getting to buy her cheaper when your opponent's got XMen and delivering damage when she KOs XMen, which is interesting enough and certainly might have its place in a draft format. Definitely, if you're drafting the set, then the chances of XMen are high. But again, for the context of this video, she's here because of the global. Pay a Bolt and KO one of your character dice. The next die you purchase this turn costs 2 less to a minimum of 1. So yes, there it is, folks. The classic global that we saw on Blue Eyes White Dragon back in the Yu-Gi-Oh set is back. Kind of makes that rock global a bit of a non-event now, but nonetheless, this is loads and loads and loads of value all crammed into one little global, which means we're going to be seeing this one loads, and I'm definitely going to be giving it a try. Obviously, the first thing to point out is pay a Bolt, KO character, you get a discount of 2. So this is just a great way of making your dice cheaper. But not only that, it's not limited to once per turn. So if you've got the bolts and the characters in the field zone to spare, you could maybe get a discount of 4 on your next purchase, which is also pretty mind-blowing. And I've seen that back in the days of Blue Eyes abused a great deal, and I suspect I'm going to see it abused again. Also, though, the fact that it KOs a character is kind of nice. In the first instance, if you just KOing a scrub or like a weenie sidekick or whatever, well, that's putting a dice in your prep, so you've got a little bit of spending for the next turn there lined up. But it also gives you access to all these great when KO'd abilities, or all these great when fielded abilities that you want to recycle around and guarantee you're using in the following turn. So not only is it getting you the discount, but the process of paying that KO cost to get the discount can be turned to your advantage. And, I love KOing my own dice to play these types of shenanigans. There's loads of great when KO'd effects. There's loads of great when fielded effects that, you just really want to get in your prep area ready to roll again next turn. So what's not to love about that? You get a discount. It's open-ended, you can keep going until your dice are a minimum of 1, and it's got that added value of giving you the when KO'd or getting your when fielded stuff ready to go next turn. This global is one I guarantee on the competitive meta you will see loads. It'll be everywhere, and it's definitely one that I'm going to give a try. And also, again, just to talk about the rarity, if you're using it in draft, here's another common card that the chances of you getting your hands on are increased around. They're going to be floating about, so it's going to help you out in your drafts too. Dark Phoenix, Malevolent, awesome. Now, if you've enjoyed this video, folks, then, as I said before, this is the third one in a series of kind of upcoming hot picks excitement that I've been doing. I've done one on win conditions, I've done one on control, here's one on ramp. So please do go and check out the other 2 videos in the mini-series. Also, please do click the subscribe and hit the notification bell. I've got another video coming out in a couple of days. That's the next one in this mini-series where I'm going to talk about some combos and some janky cards that have stood out to me from the spoilers. That's a special video because as of right now, as of point of recording this one, I've got a couple of exclusive spoilers for the Dark Phoenix Saga in that. I say exclusive because someone may spoil them between now and then, for all I know. But at this moment in time, I've got card pictures on some exclusive spoilers. So please do come back and check that out. And if you subscribe and hit the notification bell, you'll get told straight away when I put a video out. The YouTubey, algorithmy, doohickey thingamabob on the right-hand side of the screen, it's going to tell you about some videos that they think you're going to enjoy based on your viewing habits and whatnot. So if you've got the time, please do go check one of those out. Otherwise, I'll be back again soon with another YouTube video presentation. Check out our gameplay video later on in the week. Listen to the Ministry of Dice podcast and go and read some articles on BritRoller6.com. All right, guys, thanks as ever for your support. Love you loads. I'll speak to you again soon. Bye now.